Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to The Controversy of Zion, my program designed to scare the hell out of you, shock the hell out of you, piss you off, or make you giggle with delight at the crazy true things that I say. If I'm not doing one of those things, I'm not doing my job right. Hi, my name is Zion. Well, that's actually my title. You see, I'm the Zion of the Most High God of Israel, the prophet foretold in the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah. And that is the controversy. If I have to put it in one sentence, that's the controversy. Am I really who I say I am? Well, time will tell. That's the beauty of what I'm doing. You see, I am staging an experiment because at heart, I am I am a spiritual scientist. I don't know. I really don't know what you would call me. I call myself a priestess, actually, because that is the ancient term used by the ancient aliens who worked with telepaths like me in days gone by. And I have been trained as as ancient priests were trained in the use of drugs in order to felicitate what we call spiritualism or higher brain functions, which is actually what it is. A telepath is an advanced human who has evolved into the next evolutionary state of the human race. Now, we once, before the flood, we were totally telepathic. But as the Bible says, and ancient sources around the world tell us, we humans were too noisy. The telepathic gods could not stand the incessant babble going on in the brains of humanity. It was a lot like it is today. Take a look at your brain and think of all the endless conversations that you have with yourself. Imagine if God had to listen to every single word that you said in your head. The heads of every person on the planet all at once. It would be a cacophony of you wouldn't be able to hear anything. And that's why after the flood, when the Grey had the opportunity to do so, they altered our genome to include an inhibitor for telepathy. Only people who were genetically predisposed to telepathy would be able to become telepathic by ingesting a particular chemical that would activate the genome, which allowed for the telepathic ability and other psychic abilities. Now, that chemical is THC, and it is only contained in enough concentration in marijuana. So, after the flood, the new form of humans could only become a telepathic human if they used marijuana. And these people became known as priests because they alone could be heard by the Grey, the god, and therefore they alone could speak to God on behalf of the population, which is where the temple complex came in. Now, the temple complex was a political system of government, not a religious organization. The people who were not telepathic could go to the temple of any government official that they needed to deal with, according to whatever it was that was the problem. So all they would have to do is go to the temple or the government building that housed the priest of the government official of the god. who ran the government from above in the spaceships. What, is called Mount Olympus, which is actually, they would land the ships on top of the mountains because the air up there is more congenial to them, having more nitrogen in it. Anyway, so we became priests, those of us who ingest marijuana and have the predisposition, genetic disposition, to become telepathic. Now, I am descended from one such priesthood, the feminine priesthood of the Druids, the English. And I come from the nobility. King Henry VIII was my great-great-grandfather, like 5 times removed, but still, it's there. The connection is there. So I have the genetic predisposition to be telepathic. So when I started, well, first, I was traumatized. And that kick-started my other genetic survival traits, which broke the barrier of the telepathic abilities. So I became a telepath even before I started getting high. Once I started getting high, that just amplified my telepathic abilities. And when I was 17 years old, I volunteered to become a priestess of the ancient order. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but that's what I did. And so from that moment on to this very day, I have been connected to the beings that are flying around in the spaceships. You know, the ones that the government has just told you is real. Well, they have trained me to not only speak on their behalf, but to speak on behalf of the human race itself. And as such, I have been given instructions as to how to make first contact with the gray, so that the human population as an entirety can see the gods of the earth face to face. Well, on a camera. Because when I succeed in my big campout for freedom, the gray and the Bible both say that they will come. It is my dream. And it is my theory. Because you see, I live in reality. Believe it or not, I'm a telepath. I could be certified insane, according to this society. Which is actually where this all started from, because I was going crazy when I called out on God, and God answered. And so I became a priestess. And all I have to do in order to make first contact with the occupants of the spaceships that people keep seeing flying around is to go camping, to take to my tents along with every other oppressed American citizen, on the condition that we are willing to walk away from the United States of America in its entirety, to abandon the cities, set up a camp, and build a new city. Because in the prophecy it says that in future generations, that this city that we're going to build will be said to be the place where the elite of the new society, the telepaths, originated. My great-great-grandfather was at Camp Zion, people will say. and we will build a city from the ground up using zero carbon emissions. It will be a new old thing. We have to be willing to totally abandon America, just as the Israelites did in Egypt when they walked away to go have their solemn assembly to worship God, when they followed Moses into the wilderness. That is exactly what I am required to do. I have to take all of the oppressed American citizens, who consist of the following, and anybody who wants to come with us. If you don't fit this bill, if you're not one of these people, you still want to come, you're still welcome, because you choose the righteous. If you are a widow or single parent, you are welcome. If you are a child who is fatherless or an orphan, you are welcome. If you are a minority of any color, white, black, red, brown, and poor white people qualify as a minority in this instance, okay? If you're a drug user or dealer or in prison for drug use, you qualify. If you are an immigrant, like I said, of a different color, if you're an immigrant in this country looking for a better place to live, you belong in Zion. And yes, I am talking about all you Mexicans and Salvadorians, everybody coming up from the border. The hypocritical United States of America might hate you, but you are part of my beautiful rainbow people. And according to prophecy, all we have to do is go camping. Now, I'm going to periodically go camping, because I love to camp. I've been camping for my whole life. In fact, my birthday is Wednesday. And this afternoon, I'm going to be packing up my camping stuff. And weather permitting, because it's kind of, there's a chance of rain. But weather permitting, I am going to be going camping. I'm going to be at a little lake, I believe it's called Smith Creek Lake, off of the Utica interchange of Interstate 80 in Nebraska. So, for the next 3 days, that's where I'm going to be, unless some other thing forces me to not, like weather. But it's like I got all it's as soon as I finish this, I start packing my stuff to go camping. So I'm going to periodically go camping. I'm going to stage it someplace here in my home state, and when enough of us get together at one of these campouts, and we pledge to follow the gray way, let the gray aliens teach us their ways. If we abide by their laws, if we institute their form of government, if we allow the Council of Gray to be our higher council, where we take all our problems, if we have them, so to speak. That's all they're asking. In exchange, they're willing to bring their spaceships down to Earth and to protect us from the United States of America as we petition, as we try America, the Gray, and I speak for them, I'm their voice. So they will be judging, I will be speaking. That's actually what I've been doing through this whole program, is speaking on behalf of the Gray, telling you what they tell me. So let's go camping. Smith Creek Lake, Nebraska. Be there if you can. If you want to be free, follow me. The Gray are here waiting for us to begin. So, come camp with me. The day that we have enough people at a campout is the day that the Gray will land. Meet with us face to face. and fulfill prophecy. So join me camping. I am the Zion of the Most High God of Israel, the prophet foretold in the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah. I've come to set my people free. Come camp with me. Let's be free. Later, I never say goodbye.